it was a whole year long illness, but I kept on getting pericarditis, which is inflammation around my heart. And by the time Christmas came around, I was hospitalized. It was the third time I was hospitalized, and it was hospitalized for, I don't know, 5 or 6 days. And I wasn't in intensive care, but I wasn't on the regular floor. And I had my CRP, which is a measurement of inflammation. They get nervous if it's 7. Mine was 197. So the inflammation around my heart and lungs, which I also had pneumonia and pleuritis, was extraordinary, off the charts. And I had extreme amount of pain. I mean, my teeth fillings hurt, everything hurt. And I'm laying there in the hospital bed. I'm not intubated, but I am on oxygen. And people around me had coded and died. And I'd witnessed that. One was right across the hall. The other one, I seemed to have an out-of-body experience because I saw the whole thing and it was several doors down. So that was kind of odd. And I was laying there talking to God, and it's like, I could die. It's like, well, yes, you could. And I'm like, well, I don't really like it here. It's been a shit show. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't talk to God that way. And I felt bad, but I kept on in the conversation. And I realized I kind of laughed at myself because I didn't think about all those things I won. The saddles I won, the state championships, the cases I won, the money I made, the struggles. I didn't think of any of that. I didn't think about growing up with the wounds of my mom or the childhood abuse. All I thought about was love, God, my husband, my pets, everything that had to do with me that had to do with love. And I start kind of just going in this version of love. And pretty soon I'm just leaving my body, and I go up, 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 and this gold shimmery tube of light. It was greater than one can imagine. I couldn't even, when we're out of our body, at least for me, there was no time or space. And this tube of light is endless. It is forever. And the feeling of absolute peace, harmony, love, worthiness, was out of this world, more than I could imagine ever feeling in the physical form. And I'm up, going up, up, up in this light. And I feel like a little 4-year-old running to my heavenly parents' lap. I feel so free. I am so happy. And then I realized that whomever I'm going to meet, I knew I was going to meet my spiritual mentor. And it was a he, and I thought, he's not going to be happy. I can stay, and I'm welcomed. It is my home. I feel so at home. However, I didn't finish my reason for being. And so I went deep into my heart, and I actually dropped into my gut. And I thought, I have to, if I'm going to get to go back and finish, I have to come up with something that will work to allow me to go back. And so I went deep, and I knew I had a nanosecond. It seemed to be really short time frame to make up my mind. And so I said, okay, I'll do whatever it takes to get whatever it takes to heal and get whole and to get into my body. And as soon as I made that promise, I just fell from high in the upper atmosphere, just like down that tube of light, back into my body. And you'd think, oh, great. Oh, it was horrible. I had gone from feeling this expansive oneness with the universe and God and all that's good, no memory of anything bad, back into my heavy, literally heavy, because I had gained, 60 pounds while I was sick. My body is so sick. It is so painful. And I just dropped right back into it. It was like crawling into a dead elk carcass on the interstate. It was just horrid. And I'm like, okay, here I am. So for the last 10 years, I have been keeping my promise to do whatever it takes to heal. And that has been an extraordinary journey. Very, very hard, way harder than law school, hardest thing I've ever done. And I am so grateful to it. I mean, I'm just now starting to get the return payment of living free as soul freedom and light and love and being able to share that. So that is my near-death experience. But I want you to know, I was more alive out of my body. I'm starting to approach that type of sense of freedom and aliveness. At least I have glimpses of it in my body. And I totally believe that my purpose and all of our purposes is to live from that consciousness of oneness that I experienced while we're alive and while we have the body. I had one very close near-death experience. So I don't know if I volunteered. I can tell you, my mom was also suicidal. I would find her with a gun on her leg, threatening to commit suicide. And so there were times in my life where I did not want to commit suicide, but I didn't want to live either. But they're kind of the same thing. I certainly wasn't going to do anything. For me, after dealing with my mom, that was kind of off the charts because I'd already dealt with that and it didn't make sense. But at another level, I was so unhappy here and I really thought God had sent me to the wrong place. And now when I say that, it sounds extremely arrogant, but that is what I thought. So I didn't volunteer, but I'm pretty sure that I was pretty persistent at multiple levels of being that I didn't like it here. I mean, where'd you send me? These people are mean. They do terrible things to each other, to me. It was just, I could not comprehend the pain and how people lived and how people treated each other. And it just was, literally blew my circuits. So I didn't volunteer, but I'm pretty sure my prayer was answered. And I'm so grateful that I was able to come back, because I know I would be up, I'd still be accepted. I'd still be in a good place. I'd be loved. But I did come to earth with a purpose. And I now feel like I'm on course to do that. And I suggest to people, don't wait till you die to live. There's no guarantee that you get to come back. It humbled me to my core to be in that place. And I'm grateful for the experience every day. And I'm grateful to live the life that I have now and to be able to, I wrote a book, I share in my retreats, I teach, I still run the law practice. I have a very good husband. We have a great life on our ranch. I have 6 healing horses. I just feel like my life is abundantly blessed on all levels of being. My message is that healing and wholeness and oneness with our higher beings is everybody's path, regardless of where we're born, what our religion is, any of that, where we live. That I think is our reason for being, and it's available to all of us. And once we start walking that path, things happen. It's kind of like, they have those books, Think and Grow Rich, and they talk about how we can manifest abundance. The real abundance is the alchemy of uncovering our true selves and embodying that. And so that's available to all. And when we do that, I think it was Gandhi who taught, the way we change the world is change ourselves first. And I really believe that if you don't like what's going on around you in the government or your community, your family, the first person is to change is yourself. And when we each do that, we become, whether we talk or not, we become like this invisible force for good that will automatically raise life around us. And that's how we bring in an age and a world that we can love and love to live in. And I hope to see it in my lifetime. And I don't know how many of us it takes, but I do believe it's possible. And I'd like to invite everybody to start their own path to wholeness. Don't start tomorrow, start now. That's how we get things done, as we start now. That's a practical part of it. So thank you.